Shalom uvracha, everyone. This week's parsha is Parshat Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah. Right away, the parsha starts, and the days of Sarah were 100 years, and 20 years, and 7 years. Why does it say it in such an odd way? It's saying that even when she was 100, her beauty was still like that when she was 20. And even when she was 20, in terms of her innocence and purity, she was on like the level of sin of even a 7-year-old. She was so good. So if this parsha is talking about the passing of Sarah, why does it call it the life of Sarah? Because the whole parsha is showing the influence of Sarah, how powerful she was, and how her influenced so much. The parsha starts that Abraham comes, she passes, so he comes to Kiryat Arba, which is in Hebron, to bury Sarah, to cry for her. And he knew where he wanted to bury her. He wanted to bury her in Marat HaMachpelah. Why? It was a special place that he had found, that he knew that Adam and Eve were buried there. He knew also that this is really considered the entrance into Gan Eden, to the Garden of Eden, to heaven. That's where all our prayers ascend. And he didn't want to get it for free. He wanted to buy it. Isn't it interesting that all the spots that we have arguments with us, whether it's ours or not, it clearly says in the Torah that our forefathers paid for it and bought it for a lot of money? Avram knew. The parsha continues after that. It says, Avram Zaken ba bayamim. Avram was old, coming in days. V'Adonai berach et Avram bakol. He had blessed him with everything. But the only blessing that Avram didn't have was that his son Yitzchak, Isaac, wasn't married yet. Avram knew that he needed to get Yitzchak married, and he didn't. He says to his servant Eliezer, he made him swear, he said, do not take a daughter from the daughters of Canaan that I'm sitting in their midst. You should go to my land, to my family, and get a good woman. And this he also knew from Sarah. This is showing her influence. He knew Yitzchak needed a good wife. You couldn't just marry anybody to continue the lineage. Eliezer goes, and Eliezer did something that the Torah says you shouldn't even do. We're not supposed to do this. He tested God. The only thing we're allowed to test God is in tzedakah, with charity. We can give charity and say, please God, you have to do this, and God will accept it. That's the only thing. But Eliezer went beyond that. Not just did he test God, he relied on a sign, which we're not supposed to do. We're not supposed to rely on signs for things. What did he say? He said, the first girl, the girl that I ask, please give me water, and she'll say, yes, drink. That's the one that I know, that she's the one that you're proving, God, that you've chosen for Isaac. Rivka comes out, Rebecca, and he asks her, not only did she say, you drink, of course, she says, oh, and I'll give for your camels also. She was showing this attribute of kindness that was so important. And also we learn from Sarah. When she brings him back to the home, she says, yes, she answered his question that she was indeed a relative of Abraham. So she comes back with her to the home. He knows this is the one for Isaac. And the family did not want to let her go. They wanted her to stay longer, not to go back right away. They agreed, but they didn't want her to go right away. She disagreed with her family, displaying the strength of Sarah, that she was doing what she knew was right. When they go back, they say the 3 miracles, that the candle was lit from week to week. The dough was blessed, had a blessing in the dough, that it was abundant and people would feel this blessing in the bread and feel good from the bread. And the cloud that was around the tent as a sign of Sarah's purity. All these 3 things had left when Sarah passed away. They returned when Rebecca came back. And they get married, and we know how great, thank God, that Yaakov comes from this marriage, from Isaac and Rebecca. This is the first marriage that we're actually told about in the Torah, that they got married. And the Talmud says that the Torah spends so much time telling us about the story of Eliezer, more than mitzvot, showing us how important this story is, since it has to do with our nation. When Avram knew he was going to pass, he had remarried and had more children. He sent them away during his lifetime, and he gave them gifts, but he gave everything to Isaac, to Yitzchak. He didn't want to repeat. He didn't want Isaac to have problems. It should be known that Isaac was the main inheritor. And that also is from Sarah. We know that she wanted Abraham to know this. Isaac is the main one. And one of the last things in the parsha that we see Sarah's influence, that when Abraham passed, and Isaac and Ishmael went to bury him, Ishmael let Isaac go in front of him, showing that he agreed. He knew Isaac was greater and was the true inheritor. So Be'ezrat Hashem, may the world see this, that we are the ones, Be'ezrat Hashem, that we're the light. We're not here for selfish purposes. We're here to spread light. And they should give us, we're not asking for a lot, we're just asking for the respect we deserve. We're asking for our homeland. We're asking to live as proud Jews and not to deal with things like anti-Semitism. Be'ezrat Hashem, may we see this speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom.